Hi, this is Kimberly. Today I'm going to continue covering the timeline of the Gannon G. Man Little Boy Blue Stout case. Gannon is the enchanting young boy from Colorado Springs who had his beautiful life brought to a violent, precipitous, and abrupt end by his mean, nasty, corrupt, heinous, wicked step-menace, 𝓤𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴. This video encapsulates, do you like that word? I like that word. But this video encapsulates days 13, 14, and 15 of the Gannon Stauch case, which are the dates of February 8, 9, and 10, with only one of these days mentioned in the arrest affidavit. It's okay, I can talk around that. I can still find plenty of shit that went on that day, or those 3 days. I'm beginning to become an expert at working around honesty's bullshit, horse shit, with fleas and flies and shit. I use a lot of sarcasm in my videos. If my sarcasm bothers you and confuses you, it's because you're stupid, okay? So just don't. Just go ahead and click out, alright? Have a great day. Much love and peace. I want to point out that recently I've been using Gannon's name to refer to this case because Gannon is the victim, and that is how it should be. I never noticed that I did that until I really started thinking about it. The British woman that was doing an interview that I posted about a month back, it was a video I put together of how they're still talking about the Watts case, etc. Well, when she talked about the Watts family murders, she pointed it out that stop calling it the Chris Watts case. It's about Shanann. It's about Bella. It's about Celeste. It's about all those people he traumatized that had to work on the case and clean up his fucking mess while he cowered in the corner of his jail cell trying to do an exorcism. Well, anyway, I always called it the Chris Watts case instead of making it about his victims. This lady pointed that out to me and it really made me think. Asshat has many, many victims, too many to count, but I think I mean to say his murder victims. However, he has much more than his lovely family that he murdered. He destroyed a shit ton of lives. And I was doing a search the other day, and I searched using Gannon's name, thinking it would bring up all of the results. It did not. I got very few, actually. I got much, much more by searching for piece of shit witch bitch, you know what I mean. That dreadful, repulsive, appalling, hateful stepmurder to Gannon and Lena Stauch. But why did I get so many more results when I used piece of bitch's name? That's how it is, you know, the will gets the grease. Sometimes people forget about the victims when they get on a roll talking about the beastly homicides, the deliberate and unlawful killing of one person by another, the murders, like it's nothing. That's wrong on so many levels. I don't even know why it occurred to me to just search her name and then Gannon's name to do it separately, but something just came to me. And the sad thing was it brought up videos talking about her murder of Gannon, but just doing a search of Gannon did not bring up the same search results. There were many links, but different and not as many results. That's bullshit. Recently, piece of shit was trying to hatch a dumb fuck plan of escaping from the jail. It made me feel all happy and shit inside, knowing that she yearns desperately to get out of the Crowbar Hotel and knowing that she most likely never, ever, ever will. Just wait till she goes to the big house. This is just a county jail. Wait until she goes to prison. Oh, wah. Don't be a fucking baby, pizza. I mean, I've already diagnosed her because I got curious, you know, once the judge ordered the mental evaluation. I was like, I wonder, when I started thinking about Miss Lena's book, My Daddy is a Hero, and there was one chapter that was like a college level advanced placement class on different disorders or whatever, but I've already diagnosed piece of shit, so let's get on with the trial. I remembered the chapter that was so long and hard in Miss Lena's book, so I went back and I had a bit of a listen, and I don't like hearing myself yammer. So I just quickly, I was like, yeah, that's it. So I checked out pretty quick just as soon as I diagnosed 𝓤𝓲𝓼𝓲𝓵, antisocial personality disorder. What do y'all think? You think that's what it is? Is this going to make her mentally unstable to stand trial? I hope the hell not. What happens if they go to examine her head and the doctors find nothing there? It's empty, hollow, like a hollowed out square Lego block thing. The Mayo Clinic website says antisocial personality disorder signs and symptoms may include disregard for right and wrong, persistent lying or deceit to exploit others, being callous, cynical, and disrespectful of others, using charm or wit to manipulate others for personal gain or personal pleasure, arrogance, a sense of superiority, and being extremely opinionated, recurring problems with the law, including criminal behavior. Yes, that fits her to a T. Repeatedly violating the rights of others through intimidation and dishonesty, impulsiveness or failure to plan ahead, hostility, significant irritability, agitation, aggression or violence, lack of empathy for others, and a lack of remorse about harming others. Yep, that's her. Unnecessary risk-taking or dangerous behavior with no regard for the safety of self or others. Poor or abusive relationships. Failure to consider the negative consequences of behavior or to learn from them. Being constantly irresponsible and repeatedly failing to fulfill work or financial obligations. Remember, she couldn't hold a job. Adults with antisocial personality disorder typically show symptoms of conduct disorder before the age of 15. Signs and symptoms of conduct disorder include serious, persistent behavior problems such as aggression towards people and animals, destruction of property, deceitfulness, theft, and serious violation of rules. Although antisocial personality disorder is considered lifelong, in some people certain symptoms, particularly destructive and criminal behavior, may decrease over time, but it's not clear whether the decrease is a result of aging or an increased awareness of the consequences of antisocial behavior. Certain factors seem to increase the risk of developing antisocial personality, such as being subjected to abuse or neglect during childhood, unstable, violent, or chaotic family life during childhood. You know, what did happen to her in childhood? I think there's something there that made her kind of flip a switch or something. I have wondered, was piece of shit abused during her childhood? Maybe verbally, emotionally, physically, sexually? I just think there's a dark story back there somewhere. I hope it comes out of the closet. I just want to remind you of the obituary from her uncle, Thomas Acquired, and it said, Tommy loved children and was a big influence in the upbringing of 𝓤𝓲𝓼𝓲𝓽𝓵. I just thought that was a little bit of odd something to put in there, but maybe not, but they really wanted to point it out. So there you have it, Kimberly's unofficial diagnosis. I thought it would be fun just to throw it out there and then wait and see what she's actually diagnosed as. And again, my prediction is antisocial personality disorder. Put your diagnosis in the comments. Thank you. I'm excited to see if her defense team is going to let her get up on the stand during trial. God, I hope so. No doubt she would have plenty to say. How's she going to keep her cool when people get up on the stand and badmouth her? The only reason they would, quote, badmouth her is because they'll be telling the truth as instructed by the judge. Now, her team won't let her talk. This stupid fuck has self-control issues. She's unable to stop flapping her jaws with her crinkled lips in the duck stance, with lies, gibberish, and gobbledygook regurgitating from her shit-talking mouth, filling the air with noise pollution of constant garbage. This is also referred to as talking shit. Before I get on with the timeline, which was the purpose of this video, I want to continuously complain about something. The arrest affidavit and the first deputies that arrived on scene, 3 hours after the phone call was received. I just can't stop thinking about this. I'm upset about the beginning of this case, the very first night. The arrest affidavit states the deputies searched the house. Did they check the garage? I believe they did, but did they peek inside the car, under the car? Maybe they would have seen blood on the floor. Had they walked around and looked closer with their little flashlight like they use on cops? Children can be dramatic if they're mad or scared, so a lot of times they hide. And of course, I understand the deputies did not realize they were standing in the house with the murderer and that Gannon was already deceased. The arrest affidavit states Gannon was inside the trunk of her Tiguan, which is why she rented a car right before picking up Albert from the airport. Why did not someone take a ride up and down every single aisle at the short-term parking at the airport? She was at the airport to pick up Al. She rented a car at the airport. Duh, I know I'm Monday morning quarterbacking, but they were already starting to suspect her, I think, at this point, according to the arrest affidavit. I just think back to Officer Coonrod and the Watts family murders and how thorough he was and how he called up Detective Dave Baumhover within a couple of hours. He knew something wasn't right. I just think that they didn't. They had checked the garage, they would have seen that blood. Or had they checked the garage thoroughly? An 11-year-old kid. Maybe he was hiding under the car. I don't know. I can't explain it anymore. Another thing I wanted to address, Mr. Drayton had a very important piece of evidence. The day before the video was unleashed on the public and played time after time on nearly every news station from Colorado and beyond, including CNN, HLN, Fox, all of them, garnering national attention. The police asked the news stations to please not play it, and they all said they were going to respect that. And then one of the stations played it because it was one big hell of a scoop. They did this story congratulating him on his excellent reporting. Like I said, he had one big hell of a scoop, and it just should not have happened. They should not have played that videotape. It gave piece of shit information. It gave everyone too much information. Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, all of true crime social media lost their goddamn minds. I bet the police spokeswoman threw her wine glass into the fireplace. Oh wait, that was me. My mother and I were having a disagreement. I was in my early 20s, and I had seen that on The Guiding Light, which was an old soap opera, and I still get sad thinking about how it went away. But I thought it was cool and dramatic and shit to throw your glass of wine into the fireplace to make your final point. But he told the world what Albert said Mr. Drayton did. It should have been kept private that he started crying, that he said piece of shit lied, when Mr. Drayton took the video over to Albert to show him. Also, it's my opinion that Mr. Drayton should not have said that police said this is just what we need. Even though we have freedom of speech and all of that shit, sometimes there's inappropriate. Let's pay attention more to, you can say what the hell you want to, but wait for an appropriate time. How about that? And if you feel I'm acting like your mother, it's because that's the kind of shit I say to my kids and my grandkids. It should not have been blasted. He was talking to you. He was distraught, and you blasted it on the fucking news. It took times from the detectives as well. It just should not have happened. Piece of shit was getting information, and It just turned into a damn cluster. So, I've been asked several times, why was I dissing Mr. Drayton? Yes, it was a bit harsh and disrespectful, but what he did was not necessary. It was not necessary to let the TV news people talk you into something like that. They're looking for their next big story. That's all. They don't care about you. They don't care about Albert. They don't care about Gannon or his mother. They want the next big story. They want an exclusive. That's all. I have no inkling if they feel for Gannon. I mean, I said they didn't, but maybe they do. I'm sure some of them do. But everyone wants to do something big and dramatic in their career. I get it. I feel like he may have hampered the investigation, Mr. Drayton. The public went wild, and it gave their prime suspect information that she did not need. Law enforcement spokespersons begged, short of getting on their hands and knees, but they begged people to stop talking about and possibly hindering the investigation. I will illustrate my point by quoting from the arrest affidavit. I'm jumping ahead a bit, but I want to clarify why I was picking on Mr. Drayton. I honestly mean no disrespect to him. I do get carried away sometimes, and there are times I sound more harsh than what I mean to be. I scare the shit out of my family all the time. But Mr. Drayton is an adult. He lives in the United States. He has free will, and he is free to say and do as he wishes and does not need my permission. I understand that. This that I'm about to read, this is why. Line 163 of the arrest affidavit reads, quote, the February 14th, 2020, story number 4, and let me interject, story number 4, they are referring to the different versions that Guilty told to investigators, has several interesting considerations. During the period of February 12th through the 14th, 2020, it was public knowledge by virtue of media coverage that investigators were searching for Gannon in the area of Highway 105 South Perry Park Road in southern Douglas County near the El Paso County line. Letecia brought this location up on her own without prompting during a conversation and provided an alibi for why she was in that area. See, this is an example of piece of shit being fed information through media, social media, and the television media. Letecia was adamant that the investigators' efforts to search for Gannon in that area would be futile. This area turned out to be significant based on the Tiguan's location on January 28, 2020, and that Gannon's blood was found in this area, discussed below in more detail. End quote. Batshit crazy Batty was getting information from the news. She was also getting it from social media. It wasn't just Mr. Drayton. There were several neighbors from Lorson Ranch flapping their jaws as well. This is what they kept begging people to not do. It was hampering the fucking investigation. And while it's not Mr. Drayton's fault of the whole gossiping and wild out-of-control antics going on in the peanut gallery, I am of the opinion that video that got into the hands of other than the police, well, that is what started adding fuel to the fire. People were coming on my channel and fighting and punching and rolling around on the floor and pulling hair and shit in the comment section. Everyone wanted to fight about 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓭𝓵, screaming that she was guilty, and I was just not going to have any of it. So I did what I do to my daughters that would slap, claw, pull hair, and have a big dust up. This is just in the morning before school, usually over hair products and devices and jeans and shit. Oh my god, the jeans. There was one fight, oh my god, it was earth-shattering. I don't want to talk about it. But now, neither one of them will wear jeans. You know, as adults, they were so important back then. But I would put their asses outside and lock the door, just like Harley Dilly's mother did, but for not as long. I would tell them, ring the doorbell when you can get along and work this shit out, even if you're pretending to work it out. I don't care if you fake it. I grew up with hollering, and I wasn't having any of that shit in my house. Miss Lena called it a high-conflict household in her book, My Daddy is a Big Fat Bumbling Stupid-Ass Zero. I had lived in blissful peacefulness until they were both teenagers at the same time. There's 7 years age difference between them, but it was such a shock to my system. Y'all know I'm all delicate and shit, like a desert rose, but I shut down the goddamn comments. The moment she was arrested, piece of shit, not my daughters, but the moment she was arrested on suspicion of murder, it was on, y'all. I cut loose, and it just so happened that I was nearing the end of the 𝓿𝓲𝓷𝓭𝓵 book, so I was ready to cut loose and do something different. Did anyone warn 𝓿𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓭𝓵? You know what? Just tell her. Don't get me started, bitches. I don't come with breaks. So when I got done with that book review, it was either cover piece of witch, bitch, snarky ass, malarkey, whatever, or Lori Vallow. And I chose Gannon, I think because of the interview that piece of shit did. And also the way when I posted a couple of news compilation videos regarding Gannon, the craziness that happened in my comments. So I'm like, this shit, I'm gonna watch this. Well, I already talked about that. Get on with the fucking timeline, Kimberly. Grandkids in the background eating dinner if you hear talking and stuff. I'm a very busy granny and YouTuber and stuff. Please join me as I now discuss the timeline. And we're only 20 minutes into the video, so I'm doing better, right? Saturday, February 8th, 2020. A large crowd raised their candles during a candlelight vigil for missing Gannon from 5 to 7 p.m. in the Lohrston Ranch community. Did the vigil in an empty field on the southeast corner of Fontaine Boulevard and College Meadows Drive on Saturday, February 8th, 2020 in Colorado Springs. The Lohrston Ranch public Facebook post said, "Please meet at the corner of Fontaine and Carriage Meadows Drive in the empty field. We've spoken with Gannon's family and will be pulling together a candlelight prayer event in Lohrston Ranch for Gannon. All anyone wants right now is to find Gannon." Sounds like she's making reference to the drama going on, probably online drama. If you are religious or not, please come and join. Support the family and one another. We will be asking their pastor to join us as well as local vendors who have been making things to help fundraise for the family. They can come up and have things on hand. This will be another great way to support the family. If you can be of assistance to our event, please message any host. If anyone would like to donate candles, please let me know. So far, 200 have been donated. Please share with everyone and please wear blue. Gannon has been missing and endangered since Monday, January 27th. His family has flown in from out of state and everyone has been looking everywhere to find Gannon. Please help support this family and community during this scary and challenging time. The Sheriff's Office posted on their page, "The El Paso County Sheriff's Office investigation continued on this day in the Lohrston Ranch area. Deputies recanvassed Gannon's neighborhood and spoke with neighbors. This was done in a systematic approach to ensure all residents have been interviewed because some may have been away at the time of the initial canvassing." The Sheriff's Office reported, quote, "We will continue to search specific areas based on tips and leads in this investigation. The investigation and the search process will continue to run parallel with one or another in hopes of finding Gannon and bringing him back home. To date, we have received 324 tips. Any pertinent information on this case will be put out as the investigation allows. We will continue to share even the smallest update in this case." And again, they said, "The misinformation that is spread on social media is a hindrance to this investigation and adds an unnecessary additional burden on the family. Any information that is prematurely released and is not direct from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office is not a credible source." And then the news reported that hundreds of people showed up in the Lohrston Ranch neighborhood for the candlelight prayer vigil to honor Gannon. Gannon's biological mother was overcome with emotion and left the vigil early, surrounded by family and friends. Organizers requested that everyone wear blue clothing to support the search for Gannon, and they handed out more blue ribbons and lights for neighbors to display in front of their homes of their close-knit community. Many of those attending the vigil have children or siblings Gannon's age. This really must have been hard on the children, especially. I'm thinking of the kids in his class, and scary for them as well. They don't know, is there some crazed person running around? Well, there was a crazed person running around, but she was only chasing Gannon. And at last count, about 600 candles had been donated to be handed out at the vigil. So they originally had 200, they went up to 600. That was nice. And now to Sunday, February 9th, 2020. Quite an eventful day. Apparently, this is the day of the video. That video. Flea was all over social media, telling lies and stirring the pot. That video. I just can't. Gannon sounds like he's dying, and he probably is, and I just can't. It's the day she posted that video that it quote-unquote accidentally recorded, and I've showed it on my channel before, and I'm not going to because I can't literally listen to it again. I did the other day, and no, that boy is scared. He sounds like he's in physical and emotional pain. Why she didn't seek treatment for him is beyond me. She would have served a lot less time if she had just quickly admitted to what she had done and called an ambulance. I don't know what the hell happened that night. I'm going to link a video called Stepmother of Gannon, Letecia Stauch Social Media Meltdown. It was posted on February 10th, the day after she had her historic meltdown publicly. Her other public meltdown, the other one was with Spencer Wilson, but this channel's name is Lawless Lane, and she speaks very clearly, and she's to the point, unlike me. What I really like is that she didn't feel the need for views to repost, I should say, the stuff that piece of shit was putting up about Landon. It was irrelevant. It was some private photos and some private whatever she did, but it was probably meant to take the focus off of her, I guess, of the piece of shit. But please listen to this channel. I really liked how she did this video. And of course, there's several channels that posted this, and other channels, some of them posted the full scoop of everything. It was a shit show. Wait, was it a shit show or a clusterfuck? It was both. Yeah. So if you just look for February 9th or 10th, it'll of course be linked in the description. So again, I'm not going to play this video that piece of shit put up. I've played it before, and I just can't stand to hear the pain in his voice. Social media was blowing the fuck up. I mean, horribly. Mostly due to piece of shit keeping the social media pot stirred. She would even argue with herself under rogue accounts. She must have kept her nervous energy at bay by creating so many social media accounts to sing her own praises. When she wasn't arguing with herself, I think she would forget sometime. Bitch was psychotic. Let's just put it that way. So, yes, you can get a taste of this day by going to different YouTube channels and searching, and also visiting Facebook groups on this day. It was February 9th. Some of the stuff got reposted on the 10th, and PISA has since either deleted or hidden her accounts, so they're no longer available. So, yeah, if you look hard enough, you can find all the social media drama from that day. El Paso County Sheriff's Office, they were just inundated with all the crazies. People coming out of the woodwork, crawling around and scurrying away when someone would turn on a light. But someone commented on their site under the daily update posting. So, no actual update. Did you guys see the screenshots from T's Facebook today? Arrest her and interrogate her. She knows where he is. Like, damn, you're not the boss of them. They'll do their policing how they see fit, thank you. Piece of, oh, that's the other one. Never mind. probably one of her friends or her. So, y'all, if you're bored or just crave more information, look up all of the videos from Sunday's Clusterfuck Shit Show. She deleted all of her stuff from what I understand. I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel, so y'all just go search it on YouTube. It won't be much effort like it is for me trying to get these words out of my damn uncooperative mouth. Do you see why I cuss? This is why. 𝓲𝓲 started the day with an intention to plead her case to the public at large. Again, this was round 2. The first clue, I'm going to talk about the shit show that went down. I mean the clusterfuck shit show. That's what it was, yeah. 𝓲𝓲 started the day with an intention to plead her case to the public at large. The first clue that this was going to be a clusterfuck shit show was that her audience was heavily skewed. They all had been studying the case, reading and watching every single thing they could get their hands on. These kind of people sit with their tablet, hitting the refresh button over and over on the 3 or more open tabs, Facebook, YouTube, and Reddit, and the like, while food is burning on the stove and they're oblivious to it. To start, personality badly organized. Well, she bungled her apparent intention to take charge of the circumstances. Or perhaps we could call it a circus. Hey, I know. Let's call it the circus clusterfuck circumstance. Yeah. Let's join Kimberly now, who's already in progress. Because she pulled the public into it, but we viewed it as a very serious problem. Apparently, we did more so than she did. The entire day was nasty, objectionable, and was deteriorating rapidly, and was in chaotic disarray. Now, let's commingle some simultaneous, unrelenting failures, mistakes, and malfunctions. The end result was an organizational clusterfuck shit show. If you will remember from another advice video I did, we create our own drama. This will guide you through life if you behave. If you don't create your own drama, then your life does not become a messy, damaged, destroyed shambles. Tonight's homework is to get one of those signs like the peaceful protesters did, and the ones they hold. It looks like they went up to Dollar Tree and got a few of them. Now write on there, these are just suggestions, come up with your own, but write on there, no drama, no baby mama drama. I will promptly withdraw from any quarrels, conflicts, hostilities, arguing, and the like. I do not piss in the street. I do not participate in ruckuses, strife, and or hostility, and so on and so forth, and what have you. Boom, problem solved. Nice, quiet, peaceful life. Believe me, I know. If 𝓲𝓲 had promptly called an ambulance so Gannon could be treated with proper care and some pain medication for whatever she did that was making G-Man cry, then she could have, coulda, woulda, shoulda, expeditiously admitted her mistake and her failure to parent as his caretaker. She would have gotten out of the marriage that was making her feel so disenchanted. Then she could have served her sentence in jail, gotten some counseling, and then be free of any demands of children, of Albert, of whatever. Then you and Ed could have lived happily ever after. 𝓲𝓲, scrap heap, trashy, rattletrap, piece of shit. But you could have flown off on your broom into the sunset and then did a U-turn and come back to go to Miami to be that flight attendant. But no, you had to become enraged and do an horrible, unspeakable act. I bet you scared the shit out of him. Monday, February 10th. This was the 2-week mark. According to their website, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office continued to investigate the disappearance of Gannon Stauch. To date, there were 385 tips received, 2,656 hours of investigative work done by Sheriff's Office in this case, and over 3,600 staff hours put into the search efforts. This has included large-scale searches in addition to small specific searches. The investigation and search process continues to run parallel with one another. So this was a response to those that were, they're pieces of shit, they're dragging their ass, and I guess I've been one of them. But yeah, they did put in a lot of time. There was also a lot of people helping them. A lot of money involved. A lot. I wonder if we'll ever get the dollar amount. We probably will once it's all said and done. If it's anything like the Watts family murders, they did, or the city of Frederick sued Chris Watts for, I forget how much it was, but to replenish the cost to them of that whole damn fiasco he did. But they will never see a dime of it because, of course, the 𝓬𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓭𝓵 did a wrongful death lawsuit, which he did not fight. So if he is to ever make any money, even if it's a dime working in the prison, that it is to go directly to them up and until $6 million. So I don't see that happening. And we all know the money has to come from somewhere. And from who will it come from? That's right, taxpayers. Thanks again, Chris Asshat Watts. As tips and leads come in, they are immediately acted upon and information received is followed up on until lead is exhausted. Even the smallest piece of information may prove valuable in solving this case and could consist of things as simple as anyone remembering suspicious persons or vehicles they saw in or around the area close to the date that Gannon went missing. I kept accidentally clicking on the video. There was a video with the babysitter. I've already talked about it in another video, but the one that she was kind of friends with piece of shit. And she said, "It's all mind-blowing." Oh my God, I keep hearing that over and over. It's all mind-blowing in a Valley Girl voice. They also said, "Please do not send tips through social media platforms as this slows down the investigative process and the timeliness in following up on the tip and/or lead. This remains a very active and fluid investigation," also said Daly. "Specific details will be released as the investigation allows. The goal remains to find Gannon and bring him home safely." The arrest affidavit said regarding this date, February 10th, and if you'll remember, Possibility presented law enforcement with 4 different stories about what had happened was. How does she keep herself from asphyxiating on all of this bullshit? You know that shit can aspirate into your lungs and give you pneumonia and shit, like a bullshit pneumonia. Never mind. Line 168 of the arrest affidavit reads, quote, "Quincy Brown, age 37. Wait, did she go alphabetical order? Brown? Yep, I bet she did. He just popped up as the first one on the list. For God's sake, T, flea, B, fuckface, be more creative. You need more detail. And like one day you were raped by a Hispanic man, and another day you were raped by a black man. And now I have to wonder, is this like that double penetration thing that Nicole was looking up on the interwebs? For God's sake." Sorry, I got totally sidetracked by that. Back to the part in the story where I was at previously. Wait, is that a preposition? I shouldn't finish a sentence with a preposition. But Mr. Quincy Brown was listed on El Paso County's Most Wanted list on February 10th, 2020. I was able to locate Brown's photo on KKTV News website, where they described Brown as a black male. It is noted that during one of Letecia's stories, she described her rapist as a Hispanic male. The photo on the website appeared to be the same photo Letecia sent to Mr. Stauch. Brown has outstanding arrest warrants for failure to register as a SOX offender. and failure to appear. These warrants appear to be open since 2018. The way they explain it about how to properly submit a tip to law enforcement, it sounds like me trying to explain shit to dumbasses. 𝓬𝓲𝓼 was in the Gannon groups on Facebook, and she was posting on her Facebook wall and then deleted her Facebook, or hid it, or whatever one does when they get pissed off and leave Facebook. Meanwhile, numerous volunteers, including both law enforcement and civilians, continued searching in parallel areas for Gannon. Quote, "It's everyone saying, you know, we believe something can be done and we're all here to do it," said John Wilson, a drone pilot assisting with the search, and he told this to NBC 12, local news station there. Bless their very tired and PC heart. People were saying about the babysitter, they were talking about it on Reddit, and claim that she says the complete opposite of what she said in her news story. I guess she's afraid of getting her ass beat by a piece of shit. Fountain Community Theater is doing a special performance of Give 'em Hell Harry as a fundraiser for the family of Gannon Stauch on Monday, February 17, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. All proceeds of this event will go to the family of Gannon Stauch in the hope that this small effort will help the family find Gannon and/or heal from this ordeal. They said, please come out and support our Fountain Valley community by coming to this event. And then they issued a reminder, or a cover your ass thing. This is not a family-friendly event because of the language, swearing. So I guess my videos are not for a family-friendly event, although I have had people tell me that they sit down and watch it as a family. And I think by that they meant minor children, or probably teenagers. Yeah, teenagers, like 18, 19, you know. Give 'em hell, Harry. El Paso Sheriff's Office has not organized an official press conference since January 30th, 3 days into their search for the 11-year-old boy. That's because they were busy gathering enough evidence to ask for permission to arrest her dumb, lying, cheating, hiding ass. And other than that, a news article said that people have responded with messages of support from as nearby as Gannon's Lorson Ranch neighborhood to as far away as Australia after the formation and rampant growth of several social media groups. Damn it, y'all, I'm worn the smack out. This was a long video. It doesn't seem long when you're listening to it, but when you're gathering the info and putting all the shit together, it's long. Just take my word for it, damn it. All right? Much love and peace. Thank you for listening.
We pray that that light would shine to bring him home, Father God.
And it's been so cold out here, so wherever he's at, I just hope that he's safe and warm.
It's been 12 days.
You're waiting, you want answers, you're not getting answers.
Gannon Stauch gone without a trace.
But now
I'm just used to seeing him playing around in the yard, him and his sister, and then all of a sudden he's not here anymore.
Gannon's mom overcome with emotions at the sight of hundreds of people praying for her son's safe return.
I'm sure a wonderful feeling for her, but at the same time, it really sucks as a parent that you have to have that feeling.
I just say, Lord, put your loving arms around him and keep him safe.
Don't give up. Pray, keep praying, and don't give up, and let's just hope for the best.
A crowd of blue, Gannon's favorite color.
Gannon is the sweetest young boy.
On a cold Colorado night.
We have no clue where Gannon is right now, and the weather has been awful. We can bear an hour outside.
Lord, I thank you for every soul that is standing right here, Father God.
While the prayers will carry on as the search continues at dawn.
If anybody hasn't.
When peace like a river.
Blue balloons fluttered in the breeze. Blue, Gannon's favorite color. Many of those who came to pray for Gannon have kids or siblings his age.
If something happened like this with my sister, I don't know what I would do. None of us know the circumstances, so we need to stay focused. The focus is to find Gannon and bring him home.
Tonight's vigil began with a song.
It is well.
to prayer.
We pray that you have protected him and helped him, Father God. I pray that in the midst of everything, Lord God, that he has a peace that surpasses all understanding.
Gannon's family arrived as the sun was setting. They didn't want to speak, but former Colorado Attorney General Cynthia Kaufman, a family friend, did.
Well, there's a beautiful moon tonight lighting up this snow-covered landscape, and I hope it provides the light that we need to find Gannon and bring him home safely.
Kaufman says the Stauch family was overcome with emotion because they thought people would forget about Gannon.
I think what's so overwhelming is the show of support by so many folks they don't know, but who care about and love them. Well, Gannon is a vivacious 11-year-old boy.
With each step, Fort Carson soldiers comb through this field, moving back branches, volunteering their time to search for Gannon.
To try and look for a little boy that they don't know. This community has just been phenomenal.
Blue ribbons cling tightly to light poles. Search crews focusing today on the Big Johnson Reservoir. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office is submerging a remotely operated sonar vehicle into areas of water.
All of us have Gannon in the forefront of our minds, and we want to bring him home to his family.
Fox 31 asking the Sheriff's Office about a key piece of evidence, the surveillance video from a neighbor.
Comment on the surveillance video from the neighbor.
And that's a part of the investigation. So the Sheriff's Office will not be commenting on that video.
While the El Paso County Sheriff's Office does not consider this a criminal investigation, close friend of the Stauch family, Cynthia Kaufman, is not ruling out foul play.
Perhaps at some point later, the justice system will be involved in addressing anyone who might have participated in his disappearance.
But Kaufman served a single term as Attorney General of Colorado and said her background and training leads her to believe there could be more to come from this investigation. She's urging everyone to continue to look for clues in Gannon's disappearance.
Look out for anything you think might be significant. The smallest thing that you might have seen or heard could turn out to be a piece of the puzzle that helps us find Gannon.
Well, tonight, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office say they've received more than 380 tips related to Gannon Stauch's disappearance.
Search efforts are underway as today marks 2 weeks since the 11-year-old disappeared.
News 5's Allison Zimmerman live in studio to tell us how the Sheriff's Office working through what's become a high-profile case here, Allison.
Concerned with what happened to Gannon, the Sheriff's Office says all of the rumors circulating on social media have caused challenges, but with 385 tips from the public in their hands, there are people who certainly feel they have information out there. In the Lorson Ranch neighborhood, day or night, neighbors are sending a message to the community that they are hoping and waiting for a safe return. The Sheriff's Office says with all of those tips and information circulating on multiple social media accounts, they have a message for people not reporting through the appropriate channels.
If you're sending it through a social media outlet, chances are it may be missed, and you are hindering the investigation by not directly sending those tips and leads to the tip line, because there's multiple layers that it may go through before it eventually gets to the tip line.
It's all mind-blowing.
Stephanie Kane just moved to Oklahoma mid-January, but last had contact with Letecia Stauch, Gannon's stepmother, shortly after his disappearance. For a year, she would babysit overnight for the Stauch family whenever they went away and became friends with who she calls 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴.
I think she's innocent. She's not the type of person that will do something like this.
What is she like?
I mean, like, she never even spanked those kids. She wasn't the one to get on to them. She always let Albert do that.
Kane is trying to help clear her friend's name after this interview touched off serious backlash online.
She didn't sound like she was hiding anything, you know, like that's just the way she is.
People from across the country following the case, some criticizing her social media posts.
I would be losing my mind too. I think she's overwhelmed.
Kane says Letecia may not have her phone, and she thinks she deactivated her Facebook last night.
You just think that there's no way that she would have done anything to him?
I'm not saying, like, I don't know, you know, like, I don't know, but I'm saying that I don't think, my personal opinion, I don't think so. Like, I don't know. I don't think she would do something like that. I mean, like, 'cause she is a friend.
Kane can't tell us what she said to investigators, but says she's had several calls with them. As for the latest in the search with the sheriff's office here, we just got out of an interview with them a few minutes ago. They say they've had about 382 tips now, and here's a soundbite from what they said when they spoke with us.
Well, we did have some searches happen in some very specific areas based on the tips and the leads that have been called into the tip line. And so, again, that is going to continue. The tips and the leads keep increasing. And so sometimes those lead to other leads, and we follow those until they are all exhausted.
And they want to reiterate, don't send them your leads through private messages on Facebook or on social media. You should send them directly to the tip line. They are going to chase them all down, and they have not slowed down at all at this point, which the sheriff's office is happy about. Reporting live in El Paso County, Nicole Fierro, Fox 31.
All right, Nicole, thank you.